Thanks for the support as a channel member, FM Terrible. Now I know it's middle of September, but the heat is back. The jacket's got to go. I am sweating. And it's not just because I'm worried about getting knocked out of the Champions League by Juventus. Yeah, we have beaten them a few times in the past, but you know how things go in the first knockout round of the Champions League for us. Hello and welcome to part 93 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have both legs of our Champions League first knockout round games against Juventus. Since you were last with me, many matches have been played. We've won almost all of them. The ones we didn't win, we drew. Remember when Ike were top of the league? Yeah, we beat them 7-0. This is what the league table looks like. 24 games played. We are still only 6 points clear of Ike, who in turn are 11 points clear of Panathinaikos. Interestingly, Olympiakos in very real danger of not making it into the Champions Group. How Olympiakos have fallen since we displaced them as the dominant team here in Greece. So they won the league, 4 times in a row, 2 consecutive second places, 2 consecutive third places, 2 consecutive fourth places. So they've not been in the Champions League for several years at this point. And now they're just a few matches away from potentially being in the loser group. They're already very unlikely to end up in Europe. There could be major problems going on at Olympiakos that is probably worth monitoring. There might even be a rebuild job to do there at some point once we've got our job done with Apollon. But we won't worry about that for now. There you go. That's how the save finishes. Win the Champions League with Apollon and then very carefully put Greece back how it was before we left. And Olympiakos dominating again. That'd ruin it for every Greek fan who's not an Olympiakos fan. The only other thing that would have gone on is transfer stuff, and there hasn't really been much in the way of transfers. And there's a couple more youngsters who've come in who you won't meet anytime soon. They're both non-EU. They'll both get loaned out for a few years, and then you'll meet them in 2 or 3 seasons' time, probably. We have tried to sell some players, but we're not getting anywhere with it. In fact, Acosta I'm particularly annoyed with, because Marcus Acosta, we had a £34 million offer from Espanyol for this man that I am quite keen to sell, and he rejected a contract from them. Duffy, we had... basically, he's not signing a new contract. He's refusing to sign a new contract because he wants to play for a bigger club. At the end of this year, he's got 1 year left on his deal. So I'm holding out for 40 million. There was offers all throughout the transfer window in the 20 to 30 million pound range. As far as I'm concerned, we either break even on the 40 million we spent or we let him leave for free at the end of his contract. I don't see that there's any benefit to us in letting him go for 15 million pounds a year early. We may as well, if we're going to take a big loss on him, we'll get as close to our 40 million pounds for value as we can. And I think we'd miss him. I don't think we can replace him for 15 million pounds, so let's keep him for another year. That's the logic that I'm working with at the moment, because if we do give him another year, then Leica might be ready to fully replace him and go with Dominguez and Leica in midfield. And I think if he goes next summer, even if it's for free, we don't necessarily need to replace him because we've got other younger players coming through. There's the logic. You probably don't like it because it does mean taking a big loss on a player. But I would like to point out, as I always do, that even if we do take a big loss on an individual player, if we have a look at the save so far, I am operating on a big net transfer profit. So I've earned the right to make decisions like that, I think. So Juventus today, this is how Juventus are getting on this season. Of course they're top of Serie A. Why wouldn't they be top of Serie A? Every year we face a team who are top of one of the big leagues in Europe. It's Juventus and Inter who are having a lovely time battling it out for this title. Remember though, Juventus, just a few years ago, going back 4 or 5 seasons, we had Juventus's number. I don't know that that's necessarily going to be the case now. If we have a look at our past meetings though, we've played Juventus 4 times in competitive football matches, and we've won 3 of the 4 matches that we've played against them. They've clearly gone on and got a little bit better since then, while we've maybe struggled to advance as quickly as they have. But I have to feel that if there's going to be an opportunity for us to knock a big team out of the first knockout round, this is a big team that we definitely know how to beat. And this is a team that we're going to send out there to try and get that job done. We've got Tenesi in goal, a back 4 of Rafael, Criado, Hernandez and Solorzano, Milo at the base of the midfield, Dominguez and Duffy ahead of him, and then Alan, Carnevali and Lencina as the front 3. Carnevali has been chased by Juventus for goodness knows how long. It's actually only Liverpool who currently want him. But that's why he's getting the nod up front. I know from the comment section over the last few days, there's a lot of calls for playing Ryan Allen up front, which does make a lot of sense because he is our top goal scorer. But I would point out he's got 19 goals from 15 starts, and almost all of those starts are off the left wing. So, yeah, I guess he might score more goals up front. But when he's scoring at more than a goal a game from this position, why mess with it? Don't fix what's not broken. We know Carnevale is effective as a striker. We know Allen is effective as an inside forward. I'm inclined to just leave it as it is. And if it doesn't work, you'll probably all tell me off for it again. But 19 goals from 15 starts. Tell me why you change that into some... Is he going to score more often than that if we play him up front? I find it hard to believe. Right. I fully expect you to go out and win this match. We've got to go out there confident. It's our home leg against a team that we've beaten more often than they've beaten us. Yes, it's Juventus, which makes it a little bit scary, but we've got to believe in ourselves. And this feels like the time to get some belief going. And there's Criado. Has it been disallowed? The referee looked like he was calling it back, but he hasn't. And we are 1-0 up. A 5th goal of the season for Christian Criado, who we are going to miss when he goes back to Real Madrid this summer. And we have got a couple of younger players ready to step into his void, along with Michaelis, who's just always around the place, ready to step in when these young loanees leave. But Criado is becoming a more and more important part of the team. It's just a shame we're never going to be in a position to buy him permanently, similar to Ryan Lawson and Damien. Duffy's the only one, really, of the loans that we've had over the years that we were able to get permanently, and that's because we threw a massive pile of cash at him. The ball has bounced very kindly for Carnevale here. He is through. He cannot quite apply the finish. What's that I hear from the comment section? Ryan Allen would have scored there. Hopefully it won't end up mattering, eh? That's what we've got to hope for in a situation like this, that it didn't really matter. Raphael now with the throw into the area. De Ligt heads clear for Juventus, and it falls to Milo on the edge of the area. He plays it across to Criado. Raphael now. Raphael looking for options, finds Duffy. Duffy plays Raphael in beautifully. That's why we don't want to sell Duffy on the cheap. Passes like that. There is Allen, gets the shot, but it's deflected back to him off the Juventus defender. And now Dominguez to Milo. Dominguez, Lencina now, who's scored some wonder goals recently. Dominguez pinging it out to Raphael now. Those two in the middle of midfield is a real joy. And there is Lencina, our captain. It wasn't one of the wonder goals he's been scoring recently, but it's a very useful header. 2-0 to Apollon, and we're starting to dream a little bit, boys and girls. This is the best we've performed in a knockout round in the Champions League for about 4 or 5 years. Even if we end up getting knocked out, we're closer than we have been for a long, long time. Right. Don't mess up from here, boys. That's the plan. Don't mess up from here. Dressing room at half-time. Don't get complacent. That's the Football Manager version of don't mess up, boys. So hopefully they can follow that rather simple instruction. What I am going to do is just swap those two over, because neither of them are having a particularly good game so far. So let's just try them the other way around and see if that improves things for one of them. We've got options on the bench to replace them both, but we might not need to replace them both if one of them picks up their performance playing in a different position. Duffy playing it into Lencina, who's through on goal here. Lencina with a very good effort, but it's saved by their goalkeeper. It falls to Carnevale, who can't continue the move and get the cross in. But we are looking dangerous. We've got to believe if the next goal is ours, goodness me, at 3-0, we'd have to be very, very happy and confident going into the away leg. If it goes to 2-1, we all know how I feel about 2-1 at home in the first leg of a Champions League tie. I'd be happy with it as the away team. We've got to grab a third goal. We've got to keep on attacking. I know there's going to be some people who think this is the point where we drop down and try and counter for a little bit. We're only in the first half of the tie. It's far too early to be worrying about counter-attacking. Is that Raheem Sterling playing for Juventus, or is there a different Sterling? I didn't look at the team sheet. And Ruben Neves. That's 2 players I've picked out by name now. This is going to be problematic because we know the Football Manager rule. You pick out players, they score against you. Similar to what we were saying when we looked at Liverpool, though. If that is Raheem Sterling, he must be an old man now. I know we're only in 2030, so we are only 10 years in the future. It's not like normally when we're in the Champions League, we've started from tier 8 or something, and it's 20 years in and then you don't see any players you recognise. I sometimes get a little bit caught off guard. Right, we are going to take off Carnevale and bring on Sanchez, and we're going to put Sanchez into his new inverted winger role. Solorzano not having the best of games either, so we're going to bring Jair on at right back. Yeah, of course. I've got a defender called Jair. Of course I've been training him to play right back since he got here. Let's see if he can do some Jair things, shall we? Because, my word, would I love that to be a thing back on the channel. Alan now, doing a good job of keeping hold of the ball and trying to get a move going here. Solorzano still on the pitch for now. Dominguez looking for an option, plays it back to Solorzano. This is probably going to be Solorzano's final contribution of the game. Is he going to conjure up a chance for us? Dominguez has it again. Ball over the top for Carnevale in his final contribution. And there's Allen. And oh my word, between Allen and Lencina, how has that not ended up in the back of the net? We have had some chances and I hope we don't live to regret them. Wonderful covering tackle from Hernandez though. What a defender that boy is becoming. He's, here you go, I'll throw this. In a save that's had Criado and Ryan Lawson, I think Hernandez is the best defender we've had. And I think he'll prove it as the save goes on. Right, final substitution. We are going to take off Allen. We're going to bring on Acosta up front. A big part of me says bring on Leica and just play him up front, but he's not quite the finished article as a striker that we'd be looking for. Whereas, although Acosta has his frustrating moments, he does play in everyone around him and does get the best out of these wingers. Lencina into Dominguez. It falls to Allen. And again, look at the chances that we're having. We've had 4 clear-cut chances. We've got to grab another goal or else we're going to have to go into this second leg feeling a little bit hard done by. It feels like the game is setting us up for a late Juventus goal, and then I'm going to be gutted. We need a third to feel like we've got what we deserve out of this game. We've played so well. We just need finishing. Milo with the corner and Criado with another chance to grab his second of the game, and it goes just over. And this feels like where the sucker punch is coming. It starts with Juventus's goalkeeper, and now they're coming down our left-hand side. I've followed this script before. Don't ruin me here, Football Manager. Duffy can't get the tackle in, but we do make an interception there. And now Sanchez, who of course has fresh legs, coming on the 70-minute mark, running down this left-hand side. Cross comes in. He doesn't find Lencina. The ball's bobbling around there, and there's Marcus Acosta. It's only his 4th goal of the season, but I told you that boy was a striker. Never doubted him for a minute. Never lost the faith with Marcus Acosta. You tried to sell him at the start of the episode, not me. It's Apollon Smyrnis 3, Juventus 0 in the Champions League. It's happening. It's happening, boys and girls. It's happening. My goodness me. Don't concede a goal now. This is wonderful stuff. Praise where praise is due. They are having a fantastic day. Let's not go and spoil it by conceding a goal here, because that really will take the shine off a little bit, for goodness sake. Why you got to be this way, Football Manager? 2-0 was infinitely better than 3-1. It wasn't quite the normal script. Oh, it hurts. It really hurts. If they get a second now. I don't think I've done a walkout in the Apollon series yet. You might be about to see one if they score again here. I'm not going to be able to cope. Tennessee makes the save. We've had 5 clear-cut chances to their none. We deserve better than a 2-goal lead going into this second leg. We have been all over Juventus, as is often the case when we come up against these top-tier teams in the Champions League. They're a little bit smarter, and we're very naive. And it's cost us again a little bit there. Hopefully, won't cost us in the tie as a whole. We at 3-1, we still have to go there and get battered. They're not going to scrape a 2-0 past us, surely. But at 3-2, it's hideous. Milo clears it. Right. Not as good as it could be. Not as bad as it could have been. I would have taken 3-1 before kickoff. Let's go and see if we can finish the job back in Italy. We've kept our nice little run of form going in the league. Couple of league wins. A win in the first leg of the semi-final of the Greek Cup as well. So league table currently looking like this. Still not home and dry, but looking good for, what is this, 7 in a row? 7 in a row. Lovely stuff. So we are now all ready to head to Italy to hopefully finish the job we started moments ago for you and about an hour ago for me. So I think this is the same team that started the first leg. Tennessee in goal, a back four of Kansarevic. It might have been Rafael in the first leg. Criado, Hernandez, Solazano, Milo at the base of the midfield, Dominguez and Duffy ahead of him, Alan, Carnevali, Lencina up front. I did toy with the idea of starting Acosta, but I also toyed with the idea of playing Alan up front, actually, and starting Sanchez. But in the end, we've gone for the team that started or the attack that started in the last game, because to me, it just makes sense to. We've just done the underdogs team talk, and I'm already thinking maybe that was a bad idea. We went out there in the first leg, and I said, I expect you to beat them. And we went and beat them away from home with a 3-1 lead. Could we have perhaps put a little bit of pressure on the players so that we don't just... What I don't want to do is overpressure them and have them just crumble under it. But sooner or later, we've got to stop getting knocked out of the Champions League in the first knockout round. So a little bit of pressure probably won't do this lot any harm at all at this stage. But we'll see how the game progresses. At the moment, 3-1 up, half an hour gone. I'm happy. Let's just keep that. I would be delighted if this was the final score. If we've got another 30 seconds left in this video, because it's just no highlight central, over the moon. What a save from Tennessee. My goodness, that's as valuable as any goal. That was world class. There's been a couple of people saying we haven't got as many real top players as I think we have. Tell me after that Tennessee's not a top goalkeeper. That was outstanding. To give you some context, Osman, who Tennessee kept out of the team for us, is now Arsenal's regular starter in the Premier League. So Tennessee definitely is right up there as a top-tier goalkeeper and showed it there with that save. Right, it's important now to keep completely focused. Yeah, I think that's better than saying no pressure. Stay completely focused. The job is not done yet, but we are 45 minutes from the finish line. But it is Juventus who've got the corner, but we managed to get it clear, but only as far as Ruben Neves, who's hovering around on the edge of the area for them. He plays a wonderful pass, but Tennessee again. That is outstanding. That is 2 absolute world-class saves in this game so far. Without him, the tie is level and Juventus are ahead on away goals. With him, it's still 0-0. What a performance from Tennessee in the first 50 minutes of this game. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. The game's even recognising it. It's got him as the best player on the pitch at the moment, which he has been. But how often do you get a green rating for a goalkeeper in Football Manager when they haven't even saved a penalty? Dominguez, across to Milo. Milo now, just waiting for options to present themselves, and he finds one with a lovely pass through to Kansarevic, who cuts it back to Duffy. Duffy can't get his crossover, but it ends up back with Kansarevic. A goal here for us, and the crowd go wild. All 1,282 Apollon fans who, as we know when we come to Italy, we swim here. There's a reference back to early Europa League games. Carnevali's in, but can't force it past the goalkeeper. They're bringing on veteran winger Raheem Sterling. But we have a corner. It's going to be Milo looking for the in-swinger, and it's not quite there. Lencina back out to Milo again as he looks to have another go at getting the ball into this penalty area. Milo for the third time. Dominguez, Criado. Criado needs to get back and defend or get in the area to get on the edge of this cross. Getting in the way of the 2 midfielders trying to conjure up a chance was not the best use of his time. Right, substitution time. I'm tempted to switch up the entire front 3. I think for now, we're just going to change up the wingers who've not been involved at all. So Sanchez and German coming on for Alan and Lencina, who drop out. And then we'll keep an eye on both Duffy and Carnevali, who aren't particularly playing well. Leica's not around to come on for Duffy. Leica's actually injured for the rest of the season. He picked up a knock in one of those league games that we were playing. A knock. It's like a 2 to 3 month injury. So don't expect to see any more of Leica this year. So it's more likely to be Acosta who comes on if and when we make a third change, because we don't really have a central midfielder to step in. That was another good save from Tennessee, by the way, who's now set there on a 7.2. What a game Tennessee is having. Right, final change. As promised, Acosta's coming on again. And we just hopefully hold on. This has been exactly what the doctor ordered. We are still on attacking. And yeah, I'm not changing it. Let's see if this backfires. German running at the Juventus defence. Surely Juventus are going to have to start committing men forward at some point, and there's going to be gaps behind them to exploit. But they don't seem to be throwing people forward because we're not getting a load of chances appear at the other end. So I'm happy to keep them pinned back if that's what's happening. 87 minutes on the clock. It's another corner. They've hit the post. This time, Tennessee's like a statue. Wasn't aware of what was going on at all, but the post saves us this time. And they've got another corner, and he actually ends up on the Juventus head, but he almost cleared it for us. And it's on the edge of the area with De Ligt. I'm happy for it to be there with him. It's not doing any harm in a situation like that. And I think we've done it, boys and girls. That, I mean, this boy, 22 years old, already 35 caps for Argentina, and just had a match-winning performance in the Champions League against Juventus. Tell me again how Gianluca Tennessi isn't world-class. That was absolutely outstanding from him. Yeah, we've been written off today. Good result. Do we get the draw for the next round before we get into the next match? Because we kind of want to know who we've got tomorrow. £8 million. I forget the money that's involved in these Champions League runs. This could be something that really spurs us on for the rest of the save now, because we might have some money to spend. If we can get a favourable draw, I want to see if we're getting the draw. Right, where are we? Champions League. Have all the games... okay, it's next week the games are played. So you won't find out who we're playing until tomorrow's video. But we are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, boys and girls, for the first time in forever. And it's all thanks to Tennessi. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.